Licensure examination for teachers. No copyright infringement intended. This video is for educational purposes only. Watch the full video for professional education, actual questions for previous LET, listen carefully for the rationalization, and some keywords. You can also follow our YouTube channel for more video. Just search for Future Magister. Are you ready, future teachers? Let's start our review.
1. Which of the following best develops fine motor skills of preschool learners? A. Fun and challenging activities involving hand muscles. Why? Because fine motor skills involve movement of smaller muscle groups in your child's hands, fingers, and wrist. The option B, C, and D are specific activities of option A. Next, the concept of kindergarten school is drawn from a blank root word which means children's garden. The answer is German. The word kindergarten comes from the German language. Kinder means children and garden means garden. The term dates back to the 19th century. Friedrich Froebel started the first kindergarten, Garden of Children, in 1840. Next, which teacher's personal trait is demonstrated by being gender-sensitive and inclusive towards learners? The answer is fairness. Fairness is impartial and just treatment or behavior without favoritism or discrimination. The concept of gender sensitivity is a way to reduce the barriers caused due to the discrimination and gender bias, providing a safe and inclusive learning environment. 4. After the 1987 Constitution, what is the first legal basis that makes teaching a profession and considers teachers as professionals? The answer is letter B, RE 7836. The Republic Act 7836, or the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994, it is an act to strengthen the regulation and supervision of the practice of teaching in the Philippines and prescribing a licensure examination for teachers and for other purposes. Next, which of the following is the best relationship for the school and community? Letter C, partnership. When the schools and community organizations work together to support learning, everyone benefits. The partnerships can serve to strengthen, support, and even transform individual partners, resulting in improved program quality, more efficient use of resources, and a better alignment of goals and curricula. Next, what is the appropriate teaching learning strategy to respond to cultural diversity among learners? The answer is variety of teaching and assessment methods. Using random response strategies, the accomplished teachers of linguistically or culturally diverse learners use a variety of approaches that allow students to confront, explore, and understand important and challenging concepts, topics, and issues in manifold ways. 7. Which of the following exemplifies differentiated instruction directed at heterogeneous groups in the class? The answer is A. Different tasks appropriate for each group. Differentiation is commonly used in heterogeneous grouping, an educational strategy in which students of different abilities, learning needs, and levels of academic achievements are grouped together. What level of education is primarily aimed at by the U.S. Education are for All? Basic. The basic education comprises primary education. Next, which of the following shows a total physical environment that supports learning? Of course, safe and secure building and classroom structures. Physical environment can be related to both students' achievement and student behavior. A well-maintained and safe physical environment of high quality fosters positive attitudes and motivations related to the student's ability to learn. What kind of displays should be placed on bulletin boards of schools? A. Instructional interactive. Interactive bulletin boards are perhaps the best type of display. Students will spend more time viewing and attempting to understand interactive bulletin boards. Bulletin boards can be an important part of a lively and encouraging instruction environment. Next, by being sensitive and responsive in class above gender, racial, economic differences, or class, Teacher Mina has shown fairness to her students. Fairness is impartial and just treatment or behavior without favoritism or discrimination. 12. How will you characterize the use of PowerPoint presentation to deliver a lesson? A. Technology. Technology is a major part of life in the 21st century. The technologies used to deliver a presentation with strategies and tools are PowerPoint, Google Slides, video and screen capture, and online or live presentation. 13. What kind of teaching learning approach is adopted in teaching the same major subjects like English, Math, Science in the K-12 curriculum? A. Spiral teaching learning. In the K-12 education program, the spiral progression approach will be used in teaching science, mathematics, araling panlipunan, MAPI, and edukasyon ng pagpapakatao. Next, why are routines helpful for class management? To eliminate stress. Routines are important for helping people manage stress and anxiety. School-based routines offer children some sense of predictability and comfort to help ease those anxieties. Further, routines can help students lower their stress, form good habits, be more productive, and feel more focused. 15. Among communication indicators which can ensure effective communication between teacher and learners. Two-way. Effective communication is a two-way process. You will learn more when you are listening than when you are speaking, and that people will not open up to those they consider poor listeners. Which of the following ensures a safe and secure environment for learners in school? C. Caring and protective teachers. A safe classroom environment is one where learners feel physically, emotionally, and socially comfortable. They know that their needs are taken care of and that they are protected by caring and thoughtful teachers and members of their community. 17. Which of the following exemplifies making lesson relevant to the life of students along the three domains of cognitive, affective, and psychomotor skills? Of course, when we say relevant to the life of students, it should be lesson with real person and real events connection. Next, what is the major aim of essentialist education along traditional learning of school subjects? Thorough learning. Educational essentialism is a theory that states that children should learn the traditional basic subjects and that they should be learned thoroughly. Next, what level of the cognitive process is required in writing an essay on the personality of a fellow classmate? A. Creating. The revised taxonomy create is generating, planning, and producing. For example, to design a new set of theater production, write a thesis, develop an alternative hypothesis based on the criteria. Why is a daily lecture not pragmatic as a lesson methodology? Because it is no longer used in modern teaching. Why? Lecture method is traditional teaching that is outdated form of instructional delivery that does not benefit students. Modern teaching method focuses more on teaching the students for improving their intellect behavior by using various new and innovative. Next, which of the following ideas exemplify stereotyping that is unfair to students, learners? So from the word unfair, it is a negative word. So among the options, letter B is the negative. All students from peasant communities are dull. 38. Teacher Sonny finds that the student in Lisa is emotionally insecure. Which of the following is the best way to assess Lisa? D. Align activities to her needs. Emotionally insecure students are lacking of self-esteem or self-confidence. Aligning activities to students' needs by making them control of their own learning rather than dependent on the goodwill of this teacher empowers students and builds their self-esteem. Next, which of the following is practiced in brainstorming situation? Letter C. No objections to ideas. During the process of brainstorming, there should be no criticism of ideas and creativity should be encouraged. 40. Which materials will you use for instructional planning of course content and strategies? Letter A. Instructional materials. Instructional materials are the content or information conveyed within the course. It also aligns with all other elements in the course, including the learning objectives, assessments, and activities. Next, which is regarded by scholars as the faculty of intelligence linked to creative thinking among learners. Letter B. Imagination. Creative thinking is defined as a thinking that enables students to apply their imagination to generating ideas, questions, and hypotheses. 43. How will you characterize present efforts to use concrete situation in teaching math concepts and formulas? Applied mathematics. The term applied mathematics also describes the professional specialty in which mathematicians work on practical problems or concrete situations by formulating and studying mathematical models. 44. What is shown by results in a pretest? The answer is D. Previous knowledge. Pretests are non-graded assessment tool used to determine the pre-existing subject knowledge. Next, most important for classroom management is ensuring that the classroom management is how teachers influence student behavior environment conducive to learning. The primary goal is to maximize and minimize student misbehavior. 46. According to progressivist educators like Carl Rogers, what is the essence of creativity among school learners? D. Novelty. Again, novelty. 47. What kind of mistaken goal among students is hurting others to make up for being hurt? rejected, and unloved, thus becoming cruel or violent toward others. Letter D. Revenge seeking. The third goal of misbehavior is revenge. The mistaken belief of revenge is, I do not belong and that hurts, so I will get even by hurting others. Next, how is periodic reporting of students' grades useful? Letter A. As feedback. The purpose of grading system is to give feedback to students so they can take charge of their learning and to provide information to all who support these students, the teachers, special educators, parents, and others. 49. What is the descriptor of for a numerical grade of 90 as level of proficiency? Letter A. Outstanding. The level of proficiencies 90 to 100 outstanding, 85 to 89 very satisfactory, 80 to 84 satisfactory, 75 to 79 fairly satisfactory, below 75 did not meet expectations. 51. What is demonstrated by DepEd's emphasis on learning and assessment for percentage contribution to the grade of students in grade 1 to 10? Letter A. More importance for performance tasks. The grades 1 to 10 percentage contribution. Written work 30%, 40%, 20%. Performance tasks 50, 40, 60. Quarterly assessment 20, 20, 20%. By understanding the percentage contribution, we can conclude that there's an emphasis on performance tasks for some learning areas. Next, what approach to motivating students is used by making encouraging remarks such as, I know you can do it. Keep trying. That's the boy, girl. The answer is letter A, assertive approach. First, success approach. Teachers' job is to help students make good choices. Teachers need to change whatever negative behavior exists and improve conditions so they lead to students' success. Next, behavioral modification approach. Spend little time on the personal history of students. Positively reinforce that they do on punishment, constant reinforcements, and models. Acceptance approach maintains that every individual needs to feel acceptance and belongingness. Business academic approach emphasizes the organization and management of students as they engage in academic work, standards and procedures, monitoring of student work, and feedback of students. Group managerial approach respond immediately to group student behavior that may be inappropriate or undesirable in order to prevent problems than having dealt with them after. 53. Among thinking skills, complex cognitive means ability to integrate varied information. There are 7 thinking skills that will enhance students' processing and integration of information by Letter E 1985. First is the analysis, the ability to break down complex information into component parts. Second, focusing, the ability to select relevant or important information. Third, comparative analysis, the ability to select the correct item from several alternatives, compare information, and make proper choices. 4. Narrowing, the ability to identify and categorize new information through its attributes such as physical characteristics, principles, or functions. 5. Complex cognitive, the ability to integrate complex information into existing cognitive structures or long-term memory. 6. Sharpening, the ability to maintain distinctions between cognitive structures, including old and new information, and to avoid confusion or overlapping. 7. Tolerance, the ability to monitor and modify thinking of unclear information without getting frustrated. 54. Which item page in newspaper demonstrates critical thinking worthwhile for use in instruction on current issues and events? Letter A. Use page. Use page contains databases to search archives for several topics and issues and current events. Next, what is the descriptor for a numerical grade of 80 as level of proficiency? Letter A. Satisfactory. 90 to 100 outstanding. 85 to 89 very satisfactory. 80 to 84 satisfactory. 75 to 79 fairly satisfactory. Below 75 did not meet expectations. 56. What is the philosophy behind Philippine schools that seek to promote democratic opportunities for all and humanistic education through lifelong learning. Letter B, progressivism. Progressivism is to aim promote democratic social living. Teachers' role is to develop lifelong learners. The focus is the learner-centeredness, interdisciplinary or outcomes-based, and the trends, humanistic education, contextualized curriculum, and equal opportunities for all. 57. What is asked by the teacher in making students do a deduction or inference of the lesson presented to the class? The answer is letter C, conclusion. Inference can be defined as the process of drawing of conclusion based on the available evidence plus previous knowledge and experience. Deduction is the act of drawing logical conclusion based on information given in a text, using one's personal experiences and knowledge of the world. 65. What is the aim for interpreting grade against standards? Assessment of behavior. Behavior are not measures of learning, that is why it is against standards. The inclusion of non-academic behavior in academic grades for the purpose of rewards or punishments is frequently criticized for invalidating the grade and hindering student learning. 66. Of the following, which will you implement as the most effective strategy for influencing human emotion for retention and discovery of learning? Using of inspirational tool like book, film, art, and etc. Using of inspirational tool is the most effective strategy for influencing human emotion for attention and discovery of learning. 67. How will you judge a student who gives unjustified reasons for what he or she knows was a wrong decision or action? For example, not coming to class because it's already late. B. Rationalizing. Rationalization or making excuses is a defense mechanism that convincing oneself that no wrong has been done and that all is or was all right through faulty and false reasoning. 68. Which of the following exemplifies a class dialogue? Discussion. Dialogues are an effective way for teachers and students to discuss the various perspectives in the classroom. 69. These are the rights given to the child in indigenous minorities, but not to include to be exempted from formal education. Convention on the Rights of the Child. Article 30 of the Convention states that in those states in which ethnic, religious, or linguistic minorities of persons of indigenous origin exist, a child belonging to such a minority or he is indigenous shall not be denied the right, in community with other members of his or her group, to enjoy the culture, practice and practice own religion, and to use his or her own language. Next, which best indicates a two-way communication between teacher and student? Open to lesson. Two-way communication best indicates by both listen to each other and share their thoughts or questions. 71. Which philosophy supports universal values in education, as these are important in molding young mind towards broad ideals, such as democracy, freedom, human rights? The answer is existentialism. Existentialism supports democracy, freedom, and human rights. 72. Among thinking strategies, comprehension monetary is the ability to check progress. Comprehension strategies monitor the progress of the students. 80. What is the most preferable ratio of student for peer tutoring? Letter C. 1:1 student-student ratio. Peer tutoring is when students tutor other students, either in one-to-one or small group settings. 81. Which level of student planning establishes general content and often prepared by a committee of experts? Course mapping. Course mapping establishes general content and often prepared by a committee of experts. 82. Which of the following demonstrates the teacher's integrity? Moral courage. Integrity makes you secure and confident in who you are as a person. Moral courage is the courage to take an action for moral reason despite the risk of adverse consequences. 83. Which of the following shows the teacher's respect for human dignity? Working with people of different views. Treating each other with dignity and respect, listen to each other's point of view. 84. Among facets of the hidden curriculum that transmit right moral values, the most powerful by way of personal influence are teacher's attitude and behavior. Hidden curriculum refers to the behaviors and concepts that intentionally taught to children through the actions, language, and attitudes of teachers. 85. The most basic principle in mastery instruction is high rate of teaming that assess instruction, for example, use rubrics. The most basic principle in mastery instruction is the high rate of teaming that assess instruction or the use of rubrics. The way for values clarification by examination of situation involving values is action learning. Values clarification, a psychotherapy technique that can be often help an individual increase awareness of any values that may have a bearing on lifestyle decision and actions. The article will focus on two different approaches, clarification and analysis. It will not deal with inculcation, for example, teaching students to value something in particular, for example, honesty. Action learning or encouraging students to take community actions beyond classroom learning is also beyond the scope of the article. 87. Which correlative concepts will you not include as pairs to the positive-negative characteristic of teachers? Bubbly, resourceful. Option A, B, and C are positive-negative characteristic of teachers, while option D is positive-positive characteristic of teachers. 88. It is reasonable to say that high moral character is demonstrated by the following thoughts, attitudes, and deeds, but remotely to include nurturing at home and school. Remotely means in the list. Option B and D demonstrate a high moral character, while option C is also a high moral character because a good use of technology is one which improve human physical, mental, spiritual, and moral well-being. Thus, option A is the least among the three options. 89. When the industrial age introduced empirical research valuable as basis for objective truth. Observable and measurable evidence. Empirical research is the process of testing a hypothesis using empirical evidence, direct or indirect observation, and experience. 90. On transferring learning, how will you classify a demonstration applying first aid for accidental wounds, as done by an invited professional nurse resource person? C. Utilization related. 91. Among major schools of learning theories, which consider how the individual perceives the learning environment or situation. Letter C. Behavioral theories. There are 5 major schools of learning theories: behaviorism, cognitive constructivism, humanism, and connectivism. Additional learning theories include transformative, social, and experiential. The basic idea of behaviorism is that learning consists of a change in behavior due to the acquisition, reinforcement, and application of associations between stimuli from the environment and observable responses of the individual. 92. From contemporary cognitive psychology, learning is proposed to be task-oriented, purposive, and efficient, which is same as being goal-directed. Tolman's purposive behaviorism, he proposed learning types such as learning are always purposive and goal-directed. Cognitive maps latent learning and concept intervening variables. 93. What characteristic shows that the teacher has empathy towards learners or students? Caring and love. Being empathetic teacher helps students feel welcome, cared for, and loved. 94. How do you judge a teaching style of a teacher who is fussy teaching things over and over and is concerned with functional order and structure? Letter B. Compulsive type. Compulsive type on which the teacher is fussy, or what we call choosy, teaches things over and over and is concerned with functional order and structure. 95. Which of the following is simulation to abstract the real world in learning? The answer is letter B, role-playing. Role-play and simulations are forms of experiential learning that allow students to explore concepts, practice skills, relate to others, see multiple perspectives, and engage in various modes of learning in the classroom. 96. What is encouraging teacher nonverbal behavior that can be used in the class? Patting students on the back. Use of nonverbal actions such as moving towards the students, responding the question, going nearer to student, patting students back, clapping for the students responding well in class, or etc. 97. These are the ways successful learners can add new information with old knowledge in a meaningful way, but not to include store new information and values. Construction of knowledge. The successful learner can link new information with existing knowledge in manifold ways. Knowledge widens and deepens as students continue to build links between new information and experience and their existing knowledge base. The nature of these links can take a variety of forms, such as adding to, modifying, or reorganizing existing knowledge or skills. 98. Which of the following situation can show that the teacher is chill in a tense situation? A. Not excited but calm. Both nervousness and excitement are thrilled emotions. Being calm in a tense situation help the teacher to chill out. 99. In the beginning, the learning goals and learning may be short-term, but these can be refined by the following initiatives but not include C. Skimming through lesson topics. Goals of the learning process. The successful learner over time and with support and instructional guidance can create meaningful, coherent representation of knowledge. The strategic nature of learning requires students to be goal-oriented, to construct useful representation of knowledge, and to acquire the thinking and learning strategies necessary for continued learning success across the lifespan. Students must be generate and pursue personally relevant goals. Initially, students' short-term goals and learning may be sketchy in an area, but over time, their understanding can be refined by filling gaps, resolving inconsistencies, and deepening their understanding of the subject matter so that they can reach longer-term goals. Educators can assist learners in creating meaningful learning goals that are consistent with both personal and educational aspirations and interests. 100. Modern universities abroad has yoga and meditation, relaxation, and wellness classes in their curriculum. Which values are integrated in this program of studies? B. Vital values. The vital values. These values are connected with general well-being. The corresponding states of vital values are feelings of health and sickness, aging, exhausting energy, vigorousness.
Add-ons for professional education keywords.